What do you guys think? Do you think like Max is tired of not winning? It's been 4 races, right? My more intriguing question is, can Lewis finally win in Max's backyard? Welcome to the channel, guys. My name's Lucky. You know why you guys are here. We're here to talk about the sport that you and I love, right? Today, we're talking about the Dutch Grand Prix prep. So, I think a few things, right? Like, I feel like Mercedes have ultimately found something. I was honestly thinking on the last race that if they're good where track temperatures are high, then there's a possibility that they could consistently be in the fight. And if I remember James Allison's one of the race debriefs with Akaidas, one of the points that he mentioned was this year the target is to be consistently fighting at the top, right? And I think Mercedes is there now. Hungary was a bit of a dip, but I think since Canada, the thought was always, oh, colder conditions they're good at, but Spa showed otherwise, right? Again, we don't know what Max would have done if he started from pole and just kind of flew out into the ether, but I think there could be a potential that the Merc might be actually a contender for a win again, which I never thought I'm going to say. They've won 3 of the last 4 races, right? And it might be 4 out of the last 5 races. They've inherently gone really well on previous years as well, because I think if I remember, Lewis was second in 2022, and then he was third in 2023. Yeah, anyway, I think in 2022 they were almost in contention for pole, and then Lewis crashed first, then Russell crashed, right? So I think that the Merc ultimately works well in that track layout, so they might definitely be up as a contender. And I think Merc also confirmed that they're going to bring back the floor upgrade that they undid in Belgium for this race, right? So it was a mechanical issue. It wasn't ultimately related to the upgrade itself. So I think one to look out for, right? And number 2, I think Red Bull, right? Like, Max might definitely be tired now. He's like, wait, it's been a minute since I won. And it's his home Grand Prix. He's been brilliant on his home soil. He's obviously got the crowd behind him. He's definitely going to want to do the best he can, right? Though all that said, with all of this like crackling news on the back burner, right? So I want to do a separate video about some of the reactions about, especially the news that's come out recently about the brake bias with Red Bull, right? So I don't think Max has the car to just run away with it. He'll have to work really, really hard, but I think the car still is aerodynamically one of the best on the grid. So Max and that car, despite them not potentially having this advantage, allegedly, right, on the brake bias, Max could definitely be a contender. I intended to say Merc because I think Russell and Hamilton will be a contender. Red Bull, I think I'm not holding back on this one. I think it's a one driver team at this point in time. Sergio might qualify on the top 5, but I have after Spa, I usually thought his race pace was good, but I got little to no confidence there as well, right? So I think Max definitely in contention. I think I think both the McLaren boys will come back from the summer break, especially Lando, thinking, okay, you know what? I've had a really good car for the last 7 races and I've won one of them. Did I have the opportunity to win more? Absolutely yes. Did I maximize the car? Absolutely no. Did I maximize myself? Probably no. Right? So I think he's going to come back with a reflection, especially on starts, especially on how he wants to position himself in the team comparative to a still not a rookie but second season who's consistently improving, especially from a tire perspective. So I think I think Lando's going to come in with the aim to prove something. Oscar, on the other hand, is going to come back thinking, hey, do you know what? I've proved myself over the last 4 races. Confidence is high. I'm just going to ride this wave, right? So I think the McLaren boys, they've got good 1-lap pace. They got good race pace. And the car's consistently been awesome. So I think there's going to be 5 contenders again, similar to the Belgian Grand Prix. I am intrigued about Ferrari, whether they'll be able to do something with the existing upgrades or whether they'll bring something new to tweak the airflow around to help the porpoising and the downforce levels versus drag, especially at high speeds, right? But I don't know. I haven't heard anything, haven't seen anything on kind of the news front, so to speak. So I think my expectation is that Ferrari might be a bit slower than the top 3, but I think they'll consolidate and try to maximize what they can until they get the upgrades sorted out, right? And then I think Aston Martin, don't know. There's another thing I want to talk about on the reactions video, right? With Newey potentially being linked, but nothing's going to happen overnight, right? I think Aston Martin's going to run a little bit of a lull period, especially given the fact that the factory's not completely come on board. They're still using Mercedes wind tunnel. So I think they're just going to continue to remain in this kind of top of midfield, really, right? It's not a battle. I wanted to say battle, but really they've just consolidated their place as the top of the midfield. Whereas I think the interesting part would be RB, right? So I think they're really, really good at halfway through the first half of the season, and then post the upgrades, they've just kind of lost themselves as well, right? They are fighting for points here and there, but they've definitely fallen off the pace of the Aston. So maybe there's some opportunity to turn around things there. In terms of the other teams, namely Haas, Alpine, Williams and Sauber, I got no specific thoughts and feelings about the team, but I think Haas probably wants themselves to reprove the fact that they are point contenders, given the relative fall of grace in the Belgium Grand Prix. Alpine's moved backwards as well, but I think I'm not necessarily sure things are going to turn around. Williams will definitely want to try and grab points as much as possible there. And then Sauber, I don't know. I think they've just cemented themselves unless they actually take opportunities like strategy blunders like the Belgian Grand Prix, which they should have done, but they didn't. I think they've cemented themselves as the last team in the grid, really, which is sad for a up and coming works team, but we shall see. But that's my quick kind of thought about looking forward and prepping ourselves for the Dutch Grand Prix. Right. So predictions times. Right. So I think the fastest car is going to be Max, and the home Grand Prix advantage is going to play to him. And I think the Red Bull is going to be fast, and I think it'll dispel some of these oh, they cheated sentiment out in the paddock, or relatively proven that they might have cheated as well, right? So we'll chat about that later. Podium predictions. I don't think Max is going to win though. I think Max is going to be second. I think Lewis is going to win this race again and get back-to-back wins. What a world we'd be living in. And then number 3, I'm going to go with Oscar, right? So it's going to be a Lewis win, Max Verstappen second, and a Oscar third, right? And then I think a standout drive because of that win is going to be for Lewis, and a washout drive, unfortunately, I think it's going to be Lando. I don't think he will reset over the course of the summer, and then I think he'd feel this pressure to almost catch the 70 odd points that he has to Max somehow or the other, and like throw the kitchen sink at it. And I think he might flop. I don't know. It's just a gut feeling. That's why it's called predictions. All right, lovely people. That's the little prep note for the Dutch Grand Prix. If you like this kind of videos, smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't. See you on the next video. Thank you very much. See you later. Peace.